Welcome to Week 1, True Presence. This is Part 1, the Miracle of Mindfulness. The practices of mindfulness and self-compassion that I've learned from Thich Nhat Hanh have absolutely transformed my life. I grew up in Boston with a single alcoholic mother. We were always struggling financially, and we were even homeless for a summer while I was a teenager. When I first encountered meditation as a 19-year-old college student, I was carrying around a tremendous amount of anger, sadness, and loneliness. I embraced mindfulness and self-compassion wholeheartedly, often spending months at a time on retreat with Thich Nhat Hanh. And as I immersed myself in these practices, I began to experience greater peace, joy, and freedom than I had ever thought possible. It is my hope that through this training, you will benefit from the gifts of mindfulness and self-compassion as much as I have. I've learned in my own life, as well as working with thousands of therapists and clients, that when these practices are understood and used properly, they can transform even the most intense suffering and create profound peace, inner strength, and well-being. Most of us spend a huge amount of our lives rushing from place to place, looking for happiness or looking for satisfaction or fulfillment outside of ourselves. We're so focused on money or accomplishments or entertainment that we lose touch with all of the beauty and wonders that are present and available to us in this moment. The first step in developing self-compassion is coming home to ourselves. In order to love, we first have to be present. If we aren't there, we can't love. So we'll begin this training on self-compassion by practicing coming home to the present moment and developing our true presence. One of the biggest gifts that mindfulness practice has given me in my own life is becoming aware of my thoughts and feelings as I move through life. This might sound simple, but it's not. There's no way to care for yourself or to develop a compassionate attitude toward yourself without being aware of your thoughts and feelings as they arise. Many of us aren't aware of our feelings until they become overwhelming. For example, we might not recognize the presence of anger in us until we lose our temper and act out. We might yell at the person we love and say cruel things, and then ask ourselves, where did that come from? The seed of anger might have been growing for a long time without us realizing it. And by the time we did, the damage had already been done. However, as we train ourselves in monitoring our own thoughts and feelings, even the subtle ones, we can notice the presence of anger or fear or depression when it's still a small seed. With this awareness, we can direct the energy of compassion toward that part of ourselves to create deep transformation. With practice, you'll be able to track subtle thoughts and feelings as they arise in you and give them the care that they need. That is one of the skills that you'll develop in this training. True presence is about being aware of our own thoughts and feelings, but it's also about becoming aware of the miracles of life within and around us. Right in this moment, As you begin this training, so many fortunate conditions have come together to make this possible. First, you're alive. Thich Nhat Hanh will sometimes ask us to imagine that we've been told we have just 5 minutes to live. And then someone comes into the room and tells us they can give us another 24 hours to be alive. What an incredibly precious gift that would be. Then he reminds us that we have 24 hours to be alive right now. Let's take 2 or 3 breaths right now, focused on feeling alive. As you breathe in, feel the energy of life within you. As you breathe out, let yourself arrive fully in this moment. True presence means we're aware of our own thoughts and feelings. We're aware of the miracles of life, like the blue sky or the laughter of children, the gift of life. And that we're aware of the suffering in ourselves and in the world. One of Thich Nhat Hanh's most famous poems is called "Please Call Me by My True Names," and you can find it in a book by that title. In that poem, he says, "My joy is like spring, so warm it makes flowers bloom all over the earth. My pain is like a river of tears, so vast it fills the 4 oceans." The experience of true presence is about being open to all of the joy and pain of life and seeing the beauty and preciousness in all of it. Through this training, you'll find that compassion can heal your suffering and that connecting with joy and beauty of life will feed your compassion.